What is up, Need for Speed Racers? It is I, your wheelman, Alex Cornnut, and today we're here with two builds with the same car. I've got the 180SX at A and A+. They're drift builds, and they are fantastic for those of you guys that slide the car a little bit. My man SlideQT brought these to me. He was humbling me on some of these tracks, and I was like, dude, what is up with that? He's like, I really think it's quite good, Alex. You should show some people. I'm like, I tell you what, man, you give me some gameplay footage, and I will absolutely showcase those builds, because I am not a one-trick pony. I don't do just grip here. That's just what I drive, so that's what I bring you. But when somebody is putting down lap times like my man Slide, and I think he's probably the best drifter in the game right now, why not bring you the best? On S-Class and my McLaren, we trade. We're trading times. Like, I'll push it down a little bit, he'll push it down a little bit. We're doing riding dirty. That's like our favorite one right now. And I did a 140 flat. He's currently at a 139.8, and I'm like, I can beat that. I think, honestly, we're probably going to push it down to like 136. We're crazy. There's a lot of room for improvement on that, but we're having fun. That being said, I can't hold a candle to him at A and A+. So I want to bring you those. He's very fast. It's really cool. You guys might also notice I got a different mic setup. Kirby's still on there because we love Kirby. I'll bring it up. But I had a guy I was talking to. He's like, hey, you're professional now. No more RGB. Get a real mic. And I was like, okay. So I did, and I'm very happy with it. I think the sound quality is going to be better for you guys, and it's not quite just in front of my face. So overall, with the levels and the mixer and all the stuff, it's me investing the donations that you guys bring back into the channel to bring you guys a better experience. So thank you, all of you that support me on Patreon, on Twitch, on YouTube, just by watching the video and clicking the like button. That helps me out. See what I did there? Good segue. All right, let's dig into the build. For the A version of this car, Slide has got it set up Drifter's Delight. Straight up awesome. So the engine that we run in this one, you guys, is the fifth one over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is the 2.0 liter i4. Don't be fooled here, guys. There's a couple of different i4s. So make sure you get the one that's 306 brake horsepower when you start. Because it's the Sport Bronze one, but there's another one that's a 2.0 that's 366. So just make sure you start with the 306. And then there's a couple other i4s there. I don't know why they have so many inline 4s, but fifth one over, Sport Bronze, 306 brake horsepower when you start. For the parts, you are running Pro Silver induction. You are running Sport Bronze ECU. You are running Pro Silver fuel system. You are running Sport Bronze exhaust, and then you are running Elite Platinum screw supercharger. He says that's where it's at because a lot of the drifting, you're just getting out of the corners and you want to have that power down low. So that's what he went with. He told me the screw. It's not me, but hey man, watch his times later at the end, you guys. The gameplay footage is sick. Like I say, he's the best drifter that's putting anything on cam right now for you guys, and I'm happy to bring it because he's part of the Cornnut crew. For the nitrous, Sport Bronze NOS. For the suspension, you are running Elite Platinum off-road suspension. Brakes, Silver Pro, stock brakes. Now, for this build, he is running Super Gold off-road tires. He said that he didn't notice a huge difference at A, and if he made the sacrifices to get the Elites to fit, he wasn't happy with it, so he said it was better off doing the Super Gold off-roads. You're doing Iron Basic clutch, and you are running the Sport Bronze 4-speed transmission, you guys. So keep that in mind, because it comes stock with the 5-speed. But you never hit the top speed in this car at A-Class in the Rumble. The one track that you run this on, you don't hit the top speed. Elite Platinum differential gives you the most slider. That way we can go to the right. Anti-Beyonce, dare I say. And then for the auxiliaries, for A-Class, it's a big deal, you guys. For the A+ one, it doesn't matter because you can't reset them, so they're not even active. But for A, you can. So nitrous drift, nitrous jump. You're in the air a lot on that track, and being able to build boost in those sections leading up to the corners that follow is like really strong. So run the jump, definitely. For the handling, take your slider, go to the right. We are 50% drift. I never thought I would bring that to you guys, but hey, it's good. That's what, watch the gameplay footage. Like, it got me wondering. I'm like, if that was faster on other tracks, like more consistent, I would probably start running drift. But I'm not going to learn a whole new driving style for like 3 tracks. I just can't do it. Don't have enough time in the day. But it's good to see. And for some of you guys that are learning drift, that are trying some other builds, I guarantee this is the best one, and it's being brought to you by somebody that's very competent in a drift car, so you can really see what those lines look like, and I love that. Steering sensitivity, he runs it in the middle. Downforce, all the way high to the right. Traction control off. Drift entry gas tap is what he says he uses. I'm bringing you his build. This isn't something for me, but it is a Cornnut crew build, absolutely. So big shout out to Slide. 148 top speed. You won't quite get there, but you'll get close. 402 horsepower, max torque 422. Watch the footage. The way he uses this car is just insane, you guys. I think you're really gonna like it. And if you want to see more drift builds on this channel, put something in the comments and let me know, because I've got guys in the crew that drift that are competent. They're very fast. They're not as fast as some of my grip guys, and so we always lean into drift or into grip because it's more optimal, and that's what a majority of you guys as players are doing. But if there's some guys out there that want some real drift builds from people that really drive them well, I'll bring them to you. I'll get you hooked up. My guys are always happy to get showcased, and I want to bring you the Cornnut crew because we are not one here, we are many. And that's the beauty of having guys that are consistent. They bring me footage, and all I have to do is show up and give it to you, and it's awesome. Let's move on to A+. Alright, A+. I will say, this car has probably got more body kits than most other cars in the game. I think there might be 1 or 2 that have more styling, but this has got like 9 kits. It's crazy. You can really go all out. I mean, you can make it look like this front end or the other front end that was on the car. I mean, there's really a lot you can do with it. It's really cool. I'm not really a drifty boy, so I don't really find myself in this car that much, but I will say this A+ version hooks crazy on those bank turns. You get in there, slide it sideways, hit a boost, and you just come out of there like, it caught me off guard. I was running it on a grip build, similar to kind of what Trigger was doing with his S-Class one, and I wasn't as consistent with it just because it is a very different type of driving. But that being said, don't sleep on this car. I would definitely encourage you guys to come and build it, and it's not that expensive. The car is cheap, the engines are cheap. Like, this is the barrier for entry is quite low on the gameplay side of things, and then it's all about the skill. So it could be you, it could be a skill issue. So it could go a lot of different ways. Let's dig into the build. For the engine, it is the same engine as the last build. It is the 5th motor over. So if you start here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is the 2.0 liter inline 4. 306 brake horsepower when you start. Guys, make sure you grab that motor. I guarantee I'm going to get 2 or 3 of you guys in my comments like, oh, the build didn't come out to the right numbers. Well, it's because you picked the wrong motor. I tried, you guys. For the parts, you are running Elite Platinum, all of them, which is nuts for A+ class. But here we are, baby. So let's go. So you're running Elite Platinum induction. You're running Elite Platinum ECU. You're running Elite Platinum fuel system. You're running Elite Platinum exhaust. And you're running the Elite Platinum screw supercharger. When you are running these like dirt builds where you're really just kind of coming out of the corners and you're dropping the RPMs low and then coming back up, man, that screw is like where it's at. You know, when we're working top speed, when we're working on really getting lots of exit on some of the tighter tracks or something, that's when we might use the screw on tarmac. But usually we go with the turbos, twins in a lot of cases, because it gets you that upper echelon, or even the Sentry. But for these Rumble playlists, the screw's where it's at. Sport Bronze nitrous. Elite Platinum off-road suspension. And you're gonna go the Silver Pro brakes. Elite Platinum off-road tires. Iron Basic clutch. You are doing the 4-speed transmission as well on this build. So it is the Sport Bronze 4-speed. I almost tripped myself up there looking at the other one. But yeah, it's the 4-speed, you guys. And really, you run 3 and 4 the entire time. Like, in the A-Class build, you're only in 4th gear for that long on the front straightaway for 2 laps. And so, learn manual transmission, you guys. Like, this is great because you can pre-shift and kind of leave it in 3rd. Like, That's really where it's at. So watching the gameplay footage, he doesn't do a lot of shifting. So if you're working on drifting, it's worth it for the launch. Learn manual, you guys. Start working on it at least. Specifically with this car, if you're going to be drifting and whatnot, it's good to lock in third. Just set it, forget it, and go run. Go have fun. And then you are running the Elite Platinum differential. I think we could probably get away with bronze in this case, because we're taking the slider to the right, but he had Elite Platinum on there, so I just copied the build 100%. But I'm thinking you could probably get away with the sport. Now the auxiliaries, they don't matter. We're running nitrous drift and grip, but because it is the second and third races in the playlist when you get to pick this car for the off-road rumbles, the auxiliaries don't get reset. They didn't update that in the game, so your auxiliaries aren't even really active. Like, the light comes on in the speedometer or the tach saying it's doing stuff, but no way. Like, if you watch the first race in A class, you'll see how much boost he builds up and then how much NOS comes with that. And then if you watch the second and third races, you'll see that he doesn't build nearly as much nitrous because the auxiliaries aren't functioning. But regardless, that is going to be the parts for the handling. 50% drift. Take that slider, crank it to the right. It's weird to say. 50%. Steering sensitivity, he runs it in the middle. Downforce all the way high. Traction control off. Drift entry, gas tap. That is going to give you the 180SX Type X in A269. 50% drift build. 566 on the horsepower. Max torque 550. This is a banger. This car really surprised me when I was driving it, because I was like, I'll learn a little bit. The lines are so different that I really would have to like just change and then just run drift exclusively, because going between the two is kind of difficult. But that being said, the way this car gets boost, hit a corner, and then rocket ship out really caught me off guard. I mean, it's dope. I really like it a lot. So big shout out to SlideQT. Like I say, one of the best drifters around. I'm happy to showcase his stuff because it's great. And I want you guys to see somebody that is drifting correctly, that is doing good lines, that is putting in good times that are actually faster than the grip guys. If I see somebody else do a drift build, but their time's 3 seconds slower than their drift is slower than my grip, you're not really selling me there. But when Slide is beating me up and putting down faster lap times than me and a lot of the crew, I'm like, say less, fam. I got you. So I would say that this is kind of an anomaly on these tracks, and it's really cool to have Slide doing that for us. And every time he does a drift build that is faster than the grip builds, rather he sets a record on a track or just does something different, probably not to be a record on the track in the Cornnut crew, but if he sets a record in a drift build, I'll bring you the build, because that is definitively faster and I can show you on stats. And so when I have something that is actually better, I'll bring you the better. But if it's lesser, I'm not going to bring you less. I'm all about bringing you the good stuff. That's what Reputation's built on, and I'm built on bringing you the right builds, the adequate fast cars, so you can be at the top of your game in Need for Speed. Guys, press the like button if you haven't, please. Stay tuned for the gameplay footage. I'm Alex Cornnut, your wheelman. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. Alright, race 1, Rumble, the Boondocks. It's the only A-class race we have in the Rumble series, and so this is definitely a fast way to get around it if you want to be a drifter. I'd say that Slide is one of the best in the game right now at this. He's got some really good times, some really good lines, and he is one of the members of the crew, so I'm happy to bring it. You'll see that he launched in third gear, stays in third. He takes a wide entry, cuts it sharp, and then uses his boost as soon as he gets it. Slides it a little wide there to keep that bar up, and then as soon as he gets to that peak of the apex to where he's just going to barely make the corner, he uses it. You see he does a little shimmy to build up his yellow bar, and then here he waits until he gets to the third one and then hits it immediately to get up to speed. He hits the left jump like we do, gives the car enough time to settle so you can initiate your drift and slide around, and then as soon as he gets to the apex, he hits it. Watch this line, you guys. This is nuts. I didn't know you could do this. Go to the left of those checkpoints, left of the containers, and line that up. It's faster by about a second a lap by doing that. It saves you a ton of time because you can carry so much more speed. He goes way wide there to set up that drift line. As a grip racer, you want to take the inside, but on the outside, as a drifty boy, that's the way to go. Slide is definitely really good at drifting. It's a pleasure to watch, and I'm thankful for him to bring this to us. You'll see that he's using and conserving that yellow bar until he gets here, and then when he hits the peak of the apex, he hits it. Doesn't matter if he has two. He's using the boost, whatever he's got in the tank, at the right moment, regardless of how much he's got. Right there, he was trying to get to 3, but he didn't quite catch it, so he had a 2 bar there. You'll see once the car settles, he's drifting around, and then he caps at the same spot every lap. Consistency is the key with this guy. Now this time he jumps a lot higher than last time, so you see he turns the car in the air, shoots to the left side of those containers, and just aims straight for that checkpoint. Slides through, uses the boost immediately to get a bunch of speed to carry that into this drift, and then uses the boost again mid-drift to get lined up and then exit. Goes around the jump to save some time, and then comes through the finish line. That is a very, very good time on this track, you guys. Like, I was 203 in my cheese car. I'm like 205, 206 in the Beetle right now, and then he's doing a 157.88. So definitely some good lines there. Rewatch to see how he drifts and how he initiates. Slide is amazing, and I'm so thankful that he was happy to share this with us. Alright, Hypnotize. You guys want to see some wild stuff? Because this is some wild stuff. This guy is on a different level. Slide says that most of the drifters in the game aren't running the same lines and they're not handling like he is, and so he's calling you guys out. You want to come and race Slide and run drift for drift, I think he's going to have you waxed. There I am in the F40, and so he comes out wide, takes a very long drift there. I was going to try to pass him on the inside, I couldn't. That's kind of the last time I interact with Slide for this run. He saves his yellow bar till he's right there, and then just hooks and uses that immediately. Now this is meta. Slide in and use the wall and come up the wall. You actually carry a lot more speed there doing that, and we've all started doing that on this track. He saves all of his boost until he gets midway through that corner and then just caps it. This 180SX does so good on those corners. He goes wide left there to set up that right turn, so that way it's a narrower line or in a shallow drift kind of thing. Here he cuts it nice and tight, goes through the bushes like I've showed you before, and then hooks it, and he's on to lap 2. Guy's amazing. He's got pace, and he's faster than this. This is just what he had on cam for me that was available. So he slides that whole turn. He's going to milk it a little bit to get that 3 bar, and then he's going to save it to get right here into this, and then he's going to hook it and use it immediately to get back up to speed. Basically does a very quick 180. You'll see that same line, uses the wall, bounces off the wall, comes up here, and then just kind of takes a straight line off the jump. He does a bit of a left and a right. He's shimmying there to get small grip turns, so that way he can cap him through that corner. He has a little bit of a bobble, gets a little off center there, but he goes to the left of the pipe. Now he's all the way out left. He can gas tap in, initiate that drift, and have a real clean, good line through there. That's the reason he sets that up that way. As a drifter, you guys, if you're going to drift, you need to set those lines up a lot wider unless you have a yellow bar that you're going to hit to get out of there sooner. So just keep that in mind. The lines are a lot different, and if you're similar pace with a grip driver, you're going to wreck and crash into each other a lot, and the grip driver is going to be able to maintain more speed usually. But if you can get out front like Slide is doing right now, there's a lot to be said for drifting on these rumble maps. I still think grip is very dominant in majority of the tarmac tracks, but for these rumble ones, just the way the tracks are set up and the way this 180SX just happens to handle on dirt, my god, it's amazing. So same line through there, comes out wide, takes it nice inside, caps the boost as soon as he gets it, and just hooks it and goes straight through. He's using his nitro skip to speed, goes real narrow there, gets through the bushes, keeps a tight line, and that is going to be a 237. Guys, that is a fast lap on this track. He's actually pushed that down a little bit since then, but for what we can see here, that 237 is very good, and it's 237.2. It's not even like the high end of things. I'd be impressed to see other guys running that consistently. Don't get me wrong, he's not the fastest in the world, but Slide is definitely up there, and he's showing the drifters how to drift, and I'm very thankful that he was able to bring this to me so I could showcase the car in a different light, because I usually do the grip builds, but if the Cornnut crew has got a drift build that we're using that is good for somebody, maybe there's somebody else out there that can get something from it. Alright, rumble in the Terradome. I think this car really shines at A+. Trigger with the Gaming Militia just released the S version. Slide was losing his mind because Trigger runs a grip build on it, and he's convinced this car is a drift car. But regardless, great minds think alike, and Trigger knows what he's doing. So we launch a third gear, just boost through there. This thing is just as good as the F40 on the launch, really. It's only got a 4-speed in it, so you're really running third and fourth the whole time. You'll see how he just does one big drift through there, and we'll see it on the next lap. He's avoiding the jumps to be able to keep a good steady line. He starts the drift and then uses the boost to make a straight line out. Drifts inside, wait till he's got the apex, and then boosts to go straight down, starting lap 2. As he comes through here, now watch these drifts. He's going to be able to slide around. He doesn't hit the jumps because he wants to be able to be stable for this turn. He just narrowly misses that inner checkpoint. Kind of clips the wall there, so it's not as good as last lap, but still very clean, very fast. I mean, he's walking away from Jump Jet and Insta, and both those guys are in the crew. They're pretty fast as well. So that being said, he's just keeping a nice line through here. Gonna start that drift, and then as soon as he gets to the apex, he caps it. He did wait for the 3-bar there to make sure he got the maximum, but a lot of times he hits it where it needs to be hit, and not always, you know, wait for the 3-bar. Him getting involved with traffic back there's a lot of fun because it didn't even slow him down one bit. Now this corner is the worst of the 3. He's not able to double apex that, and so he doesn't get nearly as much boost. That's where there's a lot of time that can be improved on this track, he said. He said his last lap was pretty rough. That's these guys, they're going for perfection, right? Trying to set these perfect laps. We are going to watch the first lap again because I want you guys to see that double apex. But regardless, Slide's out here putting in the work. He is very fast. I definitely am happy to bring you a drift build with him behind it because I know that it's legit. We have the times to prove it. Like, show me a time that is faster than grip and I'll start to take you serious. And he did that for us, so it's very cool to have that happening. I can't adapt to it. I'll be driving grip for the rest of my life, you guys, but it's cool to see Slide doing that. Like I said, I wanted to show you again that first turn, how he double apexes it. And a double apex means he's turning 2 corners into 1. So you'll see as he enters the dome, he initiates his drift and almost hits the inside of that wall and carries the drift all the way through this whole section and hits almost the inside of the wall again, and then uses boost to exit. That's a really cool line, and that's why I wanted you guys to see that. So overall, SlideQT is amazing. He's awesome to have in the crew. We definitely trade blows on different tracks, but I think that he's got the rumble in the dirt locked in solid with these drift builds. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.